Are you someone who lives the life of the roller coaster of emotions? Or it feels like you're on an ocean, and sometimes it's calm and it's quite peaceful, but it doesn't last for long. Then those big waves come in, the big waves of emotion. So my question to you is, do you know how to ride the waves? Do you know how to be with the waves? And if we talk about waves as emotions, as a human being, we have emotions. And if you're in a very stressful situation, whether it be in your personal life or whether it be in your professional life, if you aren't able to ride those waves of emotion, it's going to cause you a lot of grief. Now, what is that grief going to be? Well, you are going to suppress those emotions. It feels mighty uncomfortable. So with that suppression, you might use drinking as a way to just keep those emotions sort of nicely inside of you. You might work even harder. You're already working big hours and putting a lot of time and energy, but you might even work even harder, because being with these emotions can be really, really uncomfortable. It is crucial, if you want to be a high achieving individual in your life, personally and professionally, you have to be able to be with your emotions. You have to be able to notice when you've been triggered. So what is a trigger? A trigger is something, you feel it in the body, and it can be a really strong trigger, or it can be just a little bit of a touch. But to be a high achiever, you need to be able to manage your inner world. Living in the head and just going in automatic and putting it all in a box and being a bit like a walnut, meaning you've got a hard exterior, a mask, or I'm okay, that won't cut it. High achievers, you're here, you're on a mission. You're on purpose. You've got a really strong sense of your own values and where you're going, and there's passion, there's vibrancy, and there's motivation, and there's power. A huge key, if you want to keep that energy life force going on inside of you, is to be able to have a deep, rich relationship with your emotions. And I know firsthand what it is like not to have that relationship with your emotions. When I first started seeing a counsellor in my 30s, beautiful lady, I was sad, mad and glad. That was it. Didn't do emotions, didn't know how. And she said to me, "How are you feeling?" Well, I started sobbing because I couldn't articulate. What do you mean, what am I feeling? I was so automatic. I was so in the head. I disconnected from my body. Now, I am a born high achiever, but that was slowing me down. And I was very much in the overachieving, the pushing from the moment I got up in the morning till I put my head on the pillow, almost like this obsessiveness. And I'd get overwhelmed. And it was just a really uncomfortable way to live. It affects your relationship with others, but also the relationship with yourself. So you cannot overestimate the importance of the relationship that you have with your emotions, with your feelings. Having worked in marriage counselling, individual counselling and coaching for 17 years, I have seen firsthand, I call it from the head up. A lot of people live from the head up. They don't inhabit their body. This isn't a judgment, but the key to be able to live a life where you're aligned to your inner calling, your purpose, and come from that high achieving energy, you need to be able to articulate your emotions. You need to be able to notice when you are triggered. And for the rest of your life, while you're in this body, you are going to be triggered. But it's what you do with that. There is nothing more liberating than when you have been triggered, you won't self-reject, you won't self-abandon, you won't self-judge that trigger. You'll actually recognize, okay, something's here. You won't spray out on whoever's triggered you. You'll take yourself away and you'll just connect in with the body and recognize, okay, what's here? What am I feeling? And name it. I so recall when I first started this, it was such a foreign concept. What? To name my emotions? Because I lived in just such a tiny little diameter of emotions. Sad, mad and glad, a little bit of happiness at times. But when you inhabit your body and when you allow yourself to connect with those emotions and those feelings, what happens is the spectrum of emotions gets so much bigger. From joy, compassion, love, connection, happiness, excitement, motivation, right through. It's not negative or positive, it just is. You are going to feel shame, resentful, guilt, anger, lust. It's not wrong or right, but allowing yourself to be with it and not judge it, being able to recognize it. And a really great place to start, if this is speaking to you, and you're going, yeah, well, I'm just going through the automatic, and yeah, I have got masks up. Set yourself a little goal each day. Ask yourself what that could be. It could perhaps be, for a few minutes a day, you are going to check in. Okay, what am I feeling right now? And where in my body do I feel that? And to be able to do this, you got to have awareness. And to have awareness, you have to be able to slow down. And if you are a high achiever, yeah, you don't slow down. You don't bring in stillness. But I'll put my money on it. There'll be a part of you that you're in that overachieving, that struggling. So what can you do? What is one single step that you can do, that you can begin today, where you become acutely aware of what you are feeling and be able to begin to name it? Because if you can do that, that is going to really support you, and you're going to feel so much happier, healthier, and more balanced. And when you've got those ingredients, you're much more likely to be able to come from the high achieving energy.